BBC Audiobooks presents Doctor Who, The Robot Revolution by Una McCormack. Based on the television adventure by Russell T Davies. Read by Varada Sethu. Chapter 1. Written in the Stars. Do you believe in destiny? Do you believe in fate? Once upon a time, in Croydon, a little girl was born, surrounded by people who loved her and wanted everything that was best for her. There was her mother and her father, and one of her mother's aunts, Manju, who had her own thoughts about how you protect a little girl. When the baby was 6 days old, Manju came to see her and, with a makeup pencil, she drew a little dot on the baby's forehead. "On the 6th day," said Manju, "we place the Kala Tikka on the child, to ward off evil and keep her safe." Mum and Dad looked at each other over their beloved baby girl. Her dad winked and her mum smiled. They didn't believe in fate, or destiny for that matter, but they did love Manju Babu, who was getting old and deaf and perhaps a little odd, but who loved them very much in return. Which was why, when the baby was about a month old, Manju was the guest of honor at the baby's naming ceremony. Belinda Chandra. That was the little girl's name. All the family had gathered to celebrate their new member, and it had been a delightful party, full of love and character and memories in the making, but now the guests were gone and only Manju remained. Manju and the tidying up. Manju was here for a purpose, which was not to do the washing up. Among Manju's many talents, she was the family astrologer. She was here to give the Jathakam, her predictions for the child. Lakshmi sat cuddling the baby. Belinda had, she thought, coped with the busy day very well, cooing and smiling and being the most beautiful of babies. She had the Kala Tikka once again, this time on her tiny cheek, and there was a black string tied around her midriff. "Belinda, Belinda, pretty little Belinda," said Manju, tickling the baby's chin. "Does she cry?" "Like a thunderstorm," said Lakshmi, who was by now feeling very tired. "She's so loud." "That's a good sign," said Manju. "Make yourself heard. Ring like a bell, Belinda." She drew some papers from her capacious handbag and unfolded them carefully. They were handwritten, like a letter, although if you looked more closely you would see that they were covered in symbols and pictograms as much as script. "I spent a long time over this, darling," Manju said. "Back in the old days, I'd write it out on a palm leaf, but the modern world rolls onwards, ever onwards." She snorted, as if to pass her opinion on the ever-onward rolling of the modern world. "Still, I think this Jathakam is really very good. Quite striking." Lakshmi, who was thinking about the dishes that needed washing and the mess that needed tidying up and the many small but constant and repetitive tasks that surrounded taking care of a newborn baby, suppressed a yawn. "I'm not worried about her horoscope. As long as she's healthy, that's all I care about," she blinked tiredly. She really hoped Belinda was going to sleep for more than an hour tonight. She really hoped that she was going to sleep for more than an hour tonight. A wind brushed gently through the room. The curtains drifted. So did Lakshmi, half listening to Manju Babu muttering over her papers. And then, all of a sudden, "What?" said Lakshmi. There was a man, standing there, right there in the middle of the living room. A very handsome man, yes, and he looked as surprised as Lakshmi felt. They stared at each other. "What?" he said. "What?" said Manju, looking up from her papers. Lakshmi blinked. The man was gone, as suddenly as he'd appeared. "I thought," she murmured, "there was a man." "Speak up, darling." "There was a man," said Lakshmi, "in this room." Manju didn't seem particularly interested in this news. The Jathakam was her interest, and she did not intend to be diverted by stories of disappearing men. "That's nice, dear," she said absently, and tapped the paper she was holding.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?